Welcome back, friends. Sometimes you go to a film in a film theater, either due to tiredness or even due to a boring film. You may go to sleep or sometimes even deep sleep also. When the film is over, all the people would go, and then the attendants of the theater would come and wake you up and ask you to go out of the theater. But there was one theater where even if the people would like to sleep, let alone one or two, even hundreds of viewers would want to sleep, they would allow them to sleep there only, that too in the theater itself. That's really funny and fantastic. The owners of Doddanna theater were so generous that they would allow hundreds of their viewers to sleep in their theater itself after the film was completed. That too, a particular film, that is Sati Sulochana. Even though in those days dramas were very popular, the first ever talkie film produced was released in Paramount Theatre on March 3rd, 1934. That is why in 1913, Karnataka Chalanachitra Academy declared March 3rd every year as Kannada Cinema Day. Well, I told you that this first talkie film was released in Paramount Theatre. Paramount Theatre? Well, there is a very interesting story behind this theatre too. After the success of screening first silent movie Raja Harishchandra, Doddanna Hall came to the hands of new managers. As a theatre, it was very graceful and was screening even English movies. So, the new managers not only gave a new look to the theatre but gave it a stylish name. At that time, Paramount was a very well-known cinema company in America. At Times Square in New York City, there was a huge Paramount theatre complex too. So, here in Bengaluru, Doddanna Hall was in a broad KR Market Square. The managers thought it right to change the name from Doddanna Hall to Paramount Theatre. With a new look and new name, this theatre created history by screening the first ever Kannada film Sati Sulochana on 3rd March 1934. Now, here are some very interesting facts and figures about first ever Kannada talkie movie produced. The film was certified by the British Film Censor Board on February 28, 1934, and the film had a running time of 173 minutes, that means almost 3 hours. The shooting took place in the Prabhas Studios in Kolhapur. The total cost of the film was 40,000 rupees, which is very high amount if you compare that to the present day rupees value. Bellave Narahari Shastri, who wrote the screenplay and the songs, became the first story writer and lyricist. Sri Subbaya Naidu became the first hero, and Tripuramba became the first heroine of Kannada cinema. Chamanlal Mongalal became the first producer of the film. Songs were given by R. Nagendra Rao along with H.R. Padmanabha Shastri. The actors themselves sung the songs. The songs were recorded in records brought from Colombia. But now we have the cover of the record but not the recorded song itself. There were about 15 songs in the film, which spectators were coming out of the film singing the song because they were so popular. The film ran houseful for 6 weeks in Paramount Theatre. For all 6 weeks, the people used to come from far off villages in bullock carts or by walking. For all these 6 weeks, friends, people used to come from far off places either by walking or by bullock carts. After the night show, if they preferred to stay back, the theatre owners made arrangements for them to sleep in the same theatre. In spite of this grand record breaking success, after some time, Paramount Theatre was also demolished and 2 new theatres, Parimala and Pradeep, were built. But in the recent decades, even they were also demolished. Now, no theatre exists in that place. Friends, though Doddanna Hall or any other film theatres do not exist there, a satisfying thing for a historian like me is still some educational institutions, some buildings and other structures built because of the efforts of Doddanna are still there. Very close to where Doddanna Hall existed, the SLN educational institutions and beautiful building, a hostel, an ashrama and the memorial of Doddanna, a little closer to these buildings where Doddanna Hall existed, still can be found. A BBMP yellow board near the square bearing the name of Doddanna Vrutta, meaning Doddanna Circle, stands as a remembrance of great contribution made by Doddanna to the city Bengaluru. Well friends, that's life. I'll meet you in my next episode with another very interesting and scintillating story. Till then, namaste.